Welcome to the Boxing Talk Show.
Fair but firm.
With the Hall of Fame boxing referee.
I'm Joe Cortez.
And co-host John Zamel for all of Las Vegas.
Come on, guys. Let's touch them up. Clean fight. I'm Joe Cortez. Fair but firm. Welcome to the Fair but Firm Show here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the boxing capital of the world. My co-host John Zamel, Joe Cortez here. Welcome you to the show. Another weekend of good boxing tonight.
Absolutely.
John, we're expecting Keith Thurman to show up tonight, see what he's got, see if he got a little spark of the old flash.
Absolutely.
He's undefeated. So he's fighting Joselito Lopez, who's been around the block several times.
Mm-hmm.
And people are thinking that Joselito Lopez should be an easy touch-up tune-up fight for Keith Thurman. But as you all know, in boxing, anything is possible. You know, Keith Thurman's been inactive for 23 months. So we'll see what he has tonight. But we know that the welterweight division is flooded with so many good champions and good contenders.
Absolutely.
In that division, one of the hottest division in boxing today. So we'll see what Keith Thurman brings to the table tonight. Hopefully he has his old style again and bring a lot more excitement because...
I agree. As exciting as the welterweight division is, it's just that much more exciting with a healthy, active Keith Thurman in it.
Absolutely. You know, Keith Thurman has been one of the better fighters out there. And he fought Sean Porter about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, at the Barclays Center in New York, and won a very close decision. A lot of fans thought that Sean Porter beat Keith Thurman that night. But
all three scorecards had, 7-5, which just shows how close it was.
Yeah, it was very close. And then but Keith Thurman not fighting, defending his belt because of the injuries that he's had.
Absolutely. He's had multiple surgeries, multiple injuries. He had a messed up elbow. He had a bruised hand. He's been out, like you said, for 23 months. And, we're kind of trying to figure out what we expect. After that Sean Porter fight, he then went on to get a split decision that honestly shouldn't have been a split decision against Danny Garcia. And so he was at the top of the world, right? I mean, when he left two years ago, it's fair to say that he was the best welterweight in the world. He looked like he was the heir to the throne of Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, and he was going to be the next welterweight superstar. And then he disappeared.
Well, what happens is that when those injuries occur, one after the other, then essentially anybody had no choice but to strip him of his title, with the exception of the WBA. So he will be defending his WBA championship tonight. That's how Sean Porter became champion. He ended up fighting
Danny Garcia
for the vacant title. Danny Garcia and Sean Porter. And Sean Porter showed that he's got a lot to offer in the welterweight division.
Absolutely.
So hopefully, let's see what he does tonight.
Well, actually, he called out Sean Porter. Well, not necessarily called him out, but said if he unifies any belts this year, it'll be the WBC belt. He says he probably won't fight Errol or Terrence Crawford this year in 2019 because he's going to fight this tune-up, maybe one more. He might fight 3 times, but either way, he's probably only going to fight one other champion in 2019, and he already said it would be Sean Porter. So,
well, he's going to be fighting. He's challenging one of the toughest ones out there.
Exactly.
I mean, Sean Porter is no pushover. You know, Sean Porter always comes in great condition. He's one of the most conditioned fighters in the welterweight division.
Absolutely.
I mean, the guy really works out like you can't imagine. But anyway, that's what's going on tonight. But it's going to be televised on.
I don't know. It's at Barclays Center tonight. I'm actually not.
I think it's going to be on.
It's Fox.
It's on Fox. Sports tonight.
Yes, sir.
And it's going to be another Fox. You know, they had their first fight on a Sunday.
Absolutely.
A couple of weeks ago, and
the Caleb Plant fight, right?
Yeah, it was Caleb Plant who became a super middleweight champion of the WBC, and
PBC's doing a great job getting their guys on Fox, getting them in front of the world like that, because between the Inside PBC Studios, which actually has Sean Porter as one of the co-hosts, and their ability to put people on, whether it's a Sunday night, Saturday night, whenever it is. And then, Fox Sports 1 all week long, and Fox Sports 2, they're just promoting these fights. It's pretty awesome. They're doing a good job with it.
And I get a little concerned why people say, not concerned, but I say, a little bit, people are not, they think that boxing is dying. And I said, come on, there's boxing. You look on your TV guy, or you go through on the internet, you go to the boxing section, boxing news schedules, and there's fights almost every day of the week.
Yeah.
Some places around the world, it's constantly fights, especially with Great Britain and the United States and Mexico.
Those three especially.
When
you look, when people said that 3 years ago, it was annoying, but at least their boxing was a little more under the radar.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, if you're not, it's like saying, just because you're not paying attention doesn't mean that it's dying. Just because it's not thrown in your face, because all you got to do is open your eyes Well, I mean, you're at a bar any night. You look around all the TVs between ESPN, Fox Sports, all those other ones. You're going to see boxing on one television at any given time.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, but I mean, you got all these other. You got Dazan who came on now with the pay-per-views on.
Yeah, they got a Jaime Munguia fight tonight.
Yeah, Jaime Gonzalez fighting tonight.
Yeah, on that app.
He's fighting the Japanese kid.
Takeshi Inoue.
Inoue. He's not related to the other bantamweight fighter.
No, he's not. He's not related to Noya Inoue.
I know. Yeah,
he's a really unknown fighter. Takeshi Inoue. He fought one time in Thailand. Other than that, he's never fought outside of Japan. He's expected to be someone that he rolls over. But then again, Jaime Munguia was expected to be someone that got rolled over when he fought Saddam Ali last year. So who really knows?
Yeah, he knocked out Saddam Ali. Any boxing, anything is possible.
Exactly.
Whoever thought Buster Douglas was going to knock out Mike Tyson? He was
literally nobody. Buster Douglas' mom didn't
He
think
was
that.
a 40-1 underdog, and he destroyed Mike Tyson. So you come on, if that happened, anything can happen.
Exactly.
So don't underestimate Inoue tonight fighting a Munguia. It's gonna be a.
But if everything goes to plan, which we are saying, I mean, we are gonna assume it does just for the sake of this question, and Munguia comes out and treats him like he treated Brandon Cook in his last one. This is essentially a showcase. It's a way for the DAZN fans to meet Jaime Munguia, just like when Canelo fought Rocky Fielding. It was a way for the DAZN fans to meet Canelo Alvarez. Eventually, those two names are going to become more and more synonymous. They're both Golden Boy fighters. They're very close. They have very similar fan bases. Do you see that being a potential matchup in the future? Jaime Munguia and Canelo Alvarez?
It's a possibility, but we're talking. It's like people are talking about what's his name, the British heavyweight Anthony Joshua as being as good as Muhammad Ali. Come on, you guys. The guy had one fight. He beat somebody, Klitschko, who was 10 years past his prime,
and 2 years coming off his last loss.
Yeah. And come on, you're gonna say that?
And he got knocked down by him.
You can't say these guys are superstars overnight. So no. Munguia is a good fighter. He's only 22 years of age, and he's still got a long ways to prove the world that he's a great fighter. Right now, he's a rising star in boxing. He's not great yet. He got a long ways to go before he reaches that level.
Agreed.
But that's how boxing is. And a lot of folks have their favorites, and of course Munguia is one of them. I mean, when he fought here recently, he looked. The fans were like the whole house and at the MGM Hotel. They were rooting for him like if he was Canelo Alvarez.
Absolutely.
I mean, they were like, wow.
You see that with Tijuana fighters, right?
Yeah.
Tijuana fighters get a huge fan base. Who was it Eric Morales that was famously Tijuana? But he had a huge fan base. They love their fighters, the people from Tijuana. It's awesome.
Exactly. They have a good following. But I mean, all of Mexico follows their fighters. And with the exception of some fighters who are born and raised here in the United States, are Mexican, but the Mexican Americans. But you have to be
they
a
rub
Mexican.
Them kind of the wrong way.
Yeah. But come on.
You never know. Sometimes they love them when it's De La Hoya, and sometimes it's the other way around.
Yeah, fans, we're going to go into a little brief commercial, and we'll be right back. Don't go away. Okay, welcome once again to the Fair But Firm Show here with John Zimble, my co-host, and Joe Cortez here, talking about the fights tonight. We're talking about the welterweight division. And we're talking about what happened last Saturday night. We can't leave that out. Manny Pacquiao, 40 years young.
Oh, yeah.
I can't say 40 years old because he fought like a young 30-year-old.
He didn't look 40 years old. Yeah.
Actually, this is a new 30-year-old division, I could say, because he fought like a 30-year-old last week.
He looked great.
I mean, he beat this guy, Adrian Broner, from corner post to corner post. I mean, Adrian Broner was running all night long.
Constantly
He was
running.
on the bicycle.
Looking for counters, never could find a shot because Manny Pacquiao never took his foot off the gas the entire time, and that's just amazing to see at that age. He's so much, even back then when he used to be able to, to overwhelm you with volume, now he's kind of a little more, picks his spots. That's the only time you see his age is he picks his spots a little more, but he still has that use of angles. He's still unbelievably accurate, and he's still got the power and the speed. It's just unreal.
Well, exactly. Yeah, I was able to interview him before after the weigh-in Friday before the fight. So I was able to talk to him and ask about questions. I said, Adrian Broner says that you're 40 years old, and Manny Pacquiao responded, Joe, I'm still in great shape. I feel good. He says, I'm ready. I have a lot left. I said, how many more fights do you think you have left? He says, fights. He said, "How about a couple of years, 2 or 3 more years?"
Yeah, he said, "What fights? You mean years?"
Yeah. So I mean, he's ready to go all the way, So.
And if the numbers that we've gotten back are any indication, the boxing world isn't ready to let him leave yet either.
No,
I mean, what did they? He's on pace for about 400,000 views. That's more than Wilder Fury got.
Yeah,
which is crazy. That's more than almost any fight. Outside of Triple G Canelo, that's the biggest pay-per-view fight in a few years. And that's saying something.
The Filipino fighter has a big fan base. A lot of American Filipinos, and transplanted Filipinos here from the Philippines. He has a huge following, and of course the regular fight fans know this guy.
Casual fans love him too.
I mean, this guy's a legend. He's an 8 division world champion. I mean, he always comes up to fight. You never see him taking a easy night looking for a soft spot in the ring. He's looking to always give it all he got. The only time he got knocked out, every time he got knocked out pretty bad, which I thought that was the end of his career when he got knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez about 5 years ago. But he's been back.
It looked like the end of his career, and then he was kind of shook for a little bit afterwards. But he came. I mean, now look at him.
He's come back, and look where he's at. He's the WBA welterweight champion.
He's probably the second biggest active draw in the fight game. I'll say third biggest if you want to include Anthony Joshua. So
I think a lot of fans are kind of like looking at Manny Pacquiao like an old man, and maybe that's why they're not putting all their money into Pacquiao. I mean, they want to see him and Mayweather fight again.
Yeah.
That's what the fans are looking at. Let's get the rematch. Let's see that rematch. And Manny, when I asked him Friday night,
Manny wants that fight too, man.
He says, "Joe," he says, "I like to make it. I'm willing to sit down and negotiate." That's what he's.
When he was on the Inside PBC Studio show, you could tell that loss bothered him. He disputed it more than once, saying that he didn't think he lost that fight. And this is a fight from 4 years ago.
Yeah, but.
And then he goes, not only did he say that, then he says, you could tell it was something that's constantly on his mind. He says, I want to be able to answer those questions before I hang him up.
Yeah.
So
I can see
so many reasons.
I can see it with the pay-per-view that he had for last week's fights. It was over 400,000. I mean, he fight Mayweather, it'll probably be in the 600,000, maybe even a million buys.
You could consider it. You can like imagine a million buys.
I can see that happening. He walks away with another couple of.
Another 9 figures, and Mayweather walks away with double that. And they call it a career.
Exactly, and then that'll be time for him to call it a career. But I'd really like to see these guys, put that money. I hope they invest in that money. I hate to see them. Say that they didn't pay their taxes and whatnot. I say one of the IRS. I'm sure they do here in Nevada, but I mean around the world. I mean around the country, here in the United States. Do you guys fight? IRS right there. Give me my check right there that night. It's there. Make sure you don't get away because
you don't have another 2 years of Pacquiao in exile. Exactly.
Yeah, because you may not get that money back if you don't take it that night. The IRS is right there. Here's your money. Here's a check cut out from the IRS to you. You get $8 million. I'll take the other $2.5 million. Whatever.
It's more than that, but I know what
walk
you mean.
away because I mean after they have their
they do that in a lot of other in a lot of other sports. They take the money right out away. It's kind of
I like to see that. And then on top of that, show these fighters how to invest their money properly, get a little education. I want to start a program eventually where with the Fairfield Firm Boxing Academy, I want to start getting classes, get these fighters at least get a GED.
Yes,
getting something something different that no other sanctioning body's doing out there. I like to start educating these fighters, get them on the right track, how to invest their money properly so when they retire, they can fall back and live off their annuity funds. They can live off of that. After they're 45 years of age, they can start withdrawing some of that money every month. At least they have something they can live off. Right now, you got some fighters that can't even survive paying rent, $1,000 a month. So, it's tough. A lot of these fighters got to go out there signing autographs and going out to different events to see where they can get some kind of income coming, some source of income coming in.
Absolutely.
And we got to help these guys out. It's not their fault. It's a fault of the managers and the
hangers-on.
Hangers-on that are just not helping these guys when the help is needed most.
Exactly. They milk them for every dollar when they're profitable, and then unfortunately, when the chips are down, they're nowhere to be found. It happens. It's a story as old as time in this sport, and it's a sad one.
Let's go down to memory lane because a lot of fans are always asking, Joe, some of the great fights that you referee in the past. With Roberto Duran, I ran Barkley. I mean, that fight that stands out back in 1989, Atlantic City, 3 feet of snow that night, and that was the referee. When I got there, I mean, I took a photographer who was a young man coming up the ranks, and Tom Casino, who does work right now for Showtime, and I used to take him down there. He didn't have a car. I used to pick him up in Jersey City, go that 3.5 hour drive down to Atlantic City. one way, and he will always go with me. I always pick him up, his mom and dad, and we're always so happy to say, here's a couple of sandwiches for you guys when you drive down there. You have something to eat on your way down there. And so I remember that night, Tom Casino was the photographer for that fight. And Tom, if you're listening out there, Tom, I hope a speedy recovery. I know you've been going through some issues, health issues lately. Our prayers are with you, and we know you'll be back soon. We miss seeing you at ringside to fight the other night. But anyway, you're always in my mind. And fans, Tom Casino, you check him out on Google him, and you see the kind of photographer he is for ringside. What a man. But that night, Roberto Duran, 35 years of age, people felt he was finished. He was all washed up. I mean,
he had been through war after war after war after war.
Yeah, Iran Barkley had just come off a knockout of Tommy Hearns.
Oof.
He knocked out Tommy Hearns, and people said Roberto Duran is challenging Iran Barkley.
At middleweight.
Middleweight. I remember Roberto Duran was a lightweight 135 pounder.
He was a lightweight. He seemed like he was punching above his weight when he was fighting welterweight.
Yeah, he was one of the best lightweights in the history of boxing.
Undeniably.
And then he went up to welterweight champion, then became super welterweight champion at 154. But when he knocked out Debut Moore at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
And the commissioner at the time, Jose Chewy Torres, former light heavyweight champion, was trained by Cuzzy Amato, was running. He was a commissioner. He was running around ringside telling the referee, stop it, stop it, stop it. Debut Moore was taking a pounding. He was all puffed up, his eyes. And, and the Roberto hit him with a shot right hand when Debut Moore went down. But anyway, going back to Iran Barkley, Roberto Duran, it was unbelievable that night how I told him in the dressing room, when I gave him the instructions in the dressing room, I said, Roberto, I don't want any clinching inside. I know your style, you're good, what you do, but I don't want any clinching, any holding.
A lot of guys do a lot of that, yeah.
Because I felt, Roberto Duran, 35, he's much shorter, and he's fighting a middleweight, one of the hardest. And I said, Roberto Duran probably going to be clinching him a lot. I told him, I don't want any holding, I don't want any clinching.
I don't see him fighting from outside,
So I said, I don't want any holding, any clinching inside. You understand that? He said, see. I said, okay, good. Duran, Barkley, I told the same thing. I don't want any clinching. He's probably going to be trying to clinch you, trying to hold you back. I don't want any clinching because I don't want to start taking any points. And eventually that could lead to disqualification. Both said, no, there ain't going to be no clinching tonight. I said, okay. And that fight turned out to be just like they said.
Yeah.
There was no clinching. And Roberto was all night long. He was boxing, slipping little punches. And Iran Barkley, like every round got better and better. If you fans want to watch a great fight, go on YouTube channel and check out Iran Barkley versus Roberto Duran. We're going to keep out talking about this. We're going to a brief commercial. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back again to the Faber Firm Show here with John Zimmerman, my co-host, and Joe Cortez, talking about the fights of the past. We're talking about Roberto Duran, Iran Barkley. And, of course, Iran Barkley ended up losing that fight that night against Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran, at the age of 35, came back after the Nomas fight.
Exactly.
And, but he came back here at 35 and had one of his best performances to win the middleweight championship of the world.
Which is so crazy.
A lot of fans don't remember. They didn't remember him as a lightweight and as a welterweight, but as a middleweight, he ended up taking the title from
Iran Barkley, who was a great middleweight.
He was in his prime.
Yes,
he was like 28 years old.
And you know what? There's a lot of parallels to what we were just talking about. There's a reason why we got into this. If you guys are just joining us, it was because we were talking about Manny Pacquiao after seeming like he was down and out at 40 years. After getting knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez, the 39-year-old Juan Manuel Marquez, by the way, to come back and rebuild his career in front of the very public eye, and to do it and to capture this fight that we saw this last weekend against a 29-year-old Adrian Broner. It reminded Joe that night that he refereed the Iran Barkley versus Roberto Duran fight. And it's kind of crazy the amount of parallels that you saw, because like you said, after the No Mas fight, everyone thought that Duran was done. Everyone saw him give up, and they thought this was over. And this was a guy who showed what an amazing fighter he was still and how much heart he really had. He was a true champion.
Yeah, you fans out there, I know you guys are listening like, wow, yeah, I remember these old timers. How about George Foreman?
That was the next
one I was going to bring up. At the age of 45, I was a referee.
I was just about to say, weren't you the referee of that one too?
I was a referee as well. And so he fought Michael.
The seniors tour.
Yeah, and he fought Michael Moore, and Michael Moore was trained by Teddy Alice, and he's a southpaw. Made it more difficult for George Foreman. George Foreman, was getting beat. He was not getting hurt, but he was getting beat every round. Every round was competitive, but it was Michael Moore on top for the first 9 rounds. And then
understandably,
and then in the 10th round, here comes up.
He just give him the walk into.
He walked right into that straight right hand punch. Boom, down goes Michael Moore. And I'll tell you that, sometimes one of the things that fighters do not ever lose is that punching power.
Oh, yeah,
You may lose your timing. You may lose
Speed, chin.
your reflexes and all that. Your legs will go, but that punch is always there. A puncher that has a fighter has a punch always has a puncher's chance.
Yeah.
So you can never underestimate.
Yeah, I'll take
fighter.
points with Ernie Shavers right now against anybody because you can still. That's just the way it is.
Ernie Shavers, I put on the pads with Ernie Shavers at home in my gym.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Ernie Shavers can still punch. He's at 68, 69. No, yeah, he's about 68, 69 around there, maybe 70 already.
Yeah.
And the guy still looks great. He can still punch like a mule. I mean,
I got a question. The only other time, we've been talking about the Deontay Wilder-Tyson Fury fight when he got knocked out and, woke up. The only other time that's ever been like where people talk about it is Shavers versus Holmes when he knocked him out and you see his body go limp and then he wakes up when he hits the floor. It's probably the only other time I ever saw that in the history of boxing where a guy, you could see him just kind of go, his eyes roll back. And before the 10 count, he's back on his feet.
Yeah, sometimes when you hit that canvas, it wakes you up again.
Yeah, I'm back.
Say, whoa, wait, who woke me up? And Tyson Fury did come back like if it was the first round.
I think it was Jack Reese. I'm going to have Jack Reese as my alarm clock counting down because that seemed like it could wake anybody up. If it brought Tyson Fury back from the dead, I'm going to have him when I need to wake up and I go, 1, 2.
And talking about that knockdown, I mean, the referee did a great job. Jack Reese, I mean, he could easily stop and nobody would have said anything because the way he hit when he went down.
I thought he was done. Did you think he was done?
Yeah, I thought he was.
It seemed like it was over. Yeah.
When the guy goes down the way he did, I mean, like
Your body goes limp.
Even Deontay Wilder did the sign like
he did the little
dance
the
and
kissy
he was like,
face. He did the dance.
doing like the cutthroat with his glove around his neck. Like,
That's one of the best.
I said it's over. Then he saw this
And
guy.
then you see his face.
When Jack Reese started counting over him, I said, wait, why is Jack counting? And Jack saw something that nobody else saw. It's just like
it did feel like, why is Jack counting though? You're counting over a dead man. What are you doing?
That's just like when I was counting over Juan Manuel Marquez, but he got knocked down 3 times in the first round against
Manny
Pacquiao.
First time.
People say, well, why is Joe counting? The guy's out. He went down 3 times already.
But you saw something that everybody else didn't see, right?
Right. Back in the old days, you get knocked down 3 times in the same round, it's automatically over. Now it's to the discretion of the referee. So I was able to see something that nobody else saw. I saw the look in his face, and I saw it was only the first round. It really wasn't taken.
How old was he then, too? He was younger, wasn't he? He could have been.
Yeah, he was young. Yeah, he was in the early 30s. But I mean, he took some shots there, went down. So 3 times in our first round, he comes back and gets a draw in the same fight.
Yeah.
And because me not stopping it, they got fight 2, 3, and 4.
Exactly.
So
an epic, I don't know what you call it, quadrilogy?
Yeah.
Between them. and it wouldn't have happened if you would stop that fight in the first round of the first fight. So
exactly.
I think we as fight fans kind of owe you a thank you for that. Because it was,
I think Juan Manuel Marquez
owes you a check.
He always thanks me. Every time he sees me, because we work together with ESPN.
Oh, yeah.
He's a boxing analyst like myself.
On Deportes, right?
And ESPN Deportes. He's really a great guy, and he always, every time he sees me, he's like, oh, Joe, thank you. He always.
He's one of the great Mexican fighters that ever did. Man. He's up there for sure.
Yeah. But who's the greatest Mexican fighter out there? I got to go Julio Cesar Chavez.
I think so too.
You see anybody else?
Second.
The second?
That's the real question.
Well, you got Eric Morales.
You do? You got Marco Antonio Barrera?
You got Marco Antonio Barrera. And then you got Juan Manuel Marquez. I mean,
you got Canelo entering the conversation for sure. I mean, he's in the top 10. People were asking whether he was in the top 10. I think he definitely is.
Yeah, but I won't put him in that category yet.
No. I agree. But he's on his way, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, he's definitely on his way. He's one of the superstars ever. I mean, the guy got paid $365 million by days on.
Yeah, that's got to help.
For like a 10-fight contract. You know? And that's going to be
5 years, 11 fights, $365 million.
Which breaks down roughly to about $33 billion a fight. That's not bad. That's not chump change.
That's a good payday, baby.
That's no chump change for fighters today.
$70 million a year.
Muhammad Ali back in those days in form, Frazier, those guys were getting $2 or $3 million.
I know. And they had to fight Sonny Liston.
Yeah.
He got to fight Rocky Fielding to make $33 million.
And the people felt that, hey, that was big money back then. That's not even tip money for these fighters today.
Yeah. Their agent would laugh at that money.
Oh, man. I mean, Broner said he turned down a couple of million the other day. Yeah, when he fought Manny Pacquiao, so he
made a guaranteed 2.5 plus a share of the pay per view.
Yeah,
so he's walking away with probably around $7 or $8 million.
Yeah, after the pay per view, why not? Yeah, it'd be great. But it'd be good to see these fighters continue going with their careers. They're definitely on the right track, and I think that Manny Pacquiao, we talked about earlier on the show today, still has a little spark of the old flash.
Absolutely,
but we'd like to see him come back. So I see who he's going to fight next.
Yep.
People saying Mayweather, bring him on.
I couldn't
That's what
agree
the
more.
money's at. You'll hear hearing about them negotiating real soon. Guys, take care. We'll talk to you next week. Keep your guards up at all times. Remember, I'm fair, but I'm firm. Touch them up.
Fair but firm with the Hall of Fame boxing referee. I'm Joe Cortez for all of Las Vegas. Come on, guys. Let's touch them up. Clean fight. I'm Joe Cortez. Fair but firm.